So I thought what I needed to do was create a site, a source, where anybody can come to and find anything they wanted to know about Indian American culture. Not Indian culture.
Correct. Or not American
Or
culture.
not American culture.
It's Indian American culture.
Indian American culture. And that means it comes from our experience. This hasn't been done before, so we need to put together content and a source where this is available. And a source that's not meant to tell people, this is what we think as Indian Americans, this is what we believe, so this is what you need to do. But a source that just provides information and knowledge and educates, so that we become a reference point, so that people can take that knowledge from that reference point and travel any direction they want to go. But at least they have a source they can go to find the information. What they choose to do with it is up to them. And to me, that's how you develop a cultural identity, and that's how you frame identity for your kids. You have to have the knowledge, and then you do with it what you want.
Right. So, okay, I think now I do want, I'm
really
curious now. I want to know, what is the
so
site name now?
The site is called Generation Ginger. And if you go online, it's generationginger.com. We haven't launched yet. We're still in our pre-launch phase, so we're putting a lot of content together.
How did you decide on the name Ginger? I mean, to include the word ginger in the name.
Yeah.
I think I can understand how generation came about.
Sure.
How did ginger come about?
Well, it's an interesting story. When I first came up with the idea of this site, I approached a very close friend of mine, Nina Venkatesh. I had grown up with her. She and I had taken Indian dance lessons together. And she was also an Indian American that had the same approach to her culture as I did. We kind of rejected a lot of things about our native culture and adopted a lot of the Western ideas. So we connected on that level. So I wanted her to be my partner in crime. And she actually, when we were trying to come up with names and we were doing different things, and she came up with the idea of using ginger in the name. Ginger Generation or Generation Ginger, because it's the root. And if we look at Indian cooking, ginger is, like the catalyst of the flavor of the food. I mean, without ginger, it doesn't necessarily have to be an Indian taste. So we thought ginger is good because it is indicative of an Indian root, Indian culture. And then Generation Ginger, we're a generation that's growing out of our roots. And it's the idea of evolving out of our roots, but still knowing where we are rooted. And we just felt like ginger summed that up very, very well.
Fantastic. I think I like the word Generation Ginger already because of why you chose the word ginger. And of course, I'm a fan of Indian cooking.
Well,
so
of course.
Obviously, it sort of gels with me very well right now. So.
And it rolls off the tongue, which we also like, Generation Ginger. Easy to remember.
So now I think the question is, okay, now you have a website. Let us say you have launched it. Who do you want, or who are you expecting to come and visit the site that would actually benefit from the site?
Right. Well, it seems like we have this niche demographic because we are talking about Indian American culture. The ultimate goal of the site is that anybody, Indian culture, Indian American culture, whatever background you're from, you can come to the site and use it as a tool of knowledge and education and hopefully entertainment. What you need to realize is that this comes from an Indian American perspective. And that's how we kind of define our site. It is for everybody who is interested in Indian American culture. Anyone can use it, but it comes from our specific perspective and how we view the world through our experiences and our opinions, and what we feel we need to do to frame identity for ourselves and our children.
Have you thought about what all services you're going to provide on the site?
Yeah. At first when I was thinking about putting this together, it was really focusing on parenting because, of course, that was my inspiration. And that's still kind of the focus for me at the moment, is because that's the perspective I have as an Indian American parent raising a multi-ethnic child. But as I started putting content together, of course, it reaches into all different areas. So there are basic categories that we are exploring. The first one is community, because that is the essence of what we're doing. So under community, you might find things about that gear towards family, like parenting, maybe a teen corner, where there would be information pertaining specifically to teenagers, because that's where a lot of the identity things happen. And then a kids corner, talking about different games and language and things that a Indian American kid could relate to and find tangible in their world. Also under community, we would have specific groups, like maybe philanthropic groups that deal with issues of Indian Americans, but also reach back home to Indian roots. What can we do here as Indian Americans that help people where we come from? Those are the kinds of things you'll find under community. At the moment, Lata Venkatesh is also working to help us provide a counseling section as well for parents and kids. Because this is an issue, I mean, Indian American kids, yes, we have a difficult time, but our parents are also struggling in how to communicate with us. So having a source on the site that might help reconcile those differences between our generations is something we want to focus on. We're planning on having a section we call Living. And this is kind of inspired from Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
Because why not have a section? I mean, I love Martha Stewart magazines. I love seeing all the fresh new ideas she has for approaching different holidays and things. So why not have that for us? So in that area, we're going to do things like product reviews. You know, there are so many Indian American entrepreneurs out there creating incredible products to help our kids retain culture, fashion, books. So having an area where we can compile what those products are, who those entrepreneurs are, and then also doing product reviews kind of help us have more of an access as to what tools are out there for us and what actually works. Under Living, there would be things like a food section where we would experiment with different Indian recipes and shortcuts, things that might help us. You know, we can't provide Indian food on a daily basis, but at least make it a little easier for us to be able to do so when we want to. And then a how-to section, putting together different crafts and things that might pertain to our culture. And finally, you know, we have some basic information sections, like news, where we would, you know, include sites and our own articles on current event news that pertains to us, that we would find interesting coming from an Indian American perspective. And arts and culture, where, you know, there are so many Indians and Indian Americans who are doing amazing things in art and music and theater. So highlighting those people, who they are, what's going on, and how we can increase our influence in those worlds. And those are things that really help us shape our identity. And the things that those people are doing in those fields right now are going to affect how my daughter sees Indian Americans. So discussing what are we actually portraying as Indian Americans, and how is that going to affect the future generation?
Perfect. Thank you. So obviously now you got me all riled up. So when are you launching your site?
Right. So what we're doing is, hopefully we want to launch by September 1st.
Okay.
You know, there's always a chance it could launch before that. But September 1st is our goal date, and what we're hoping to have for the public by then is a huge spread on Diwali. Where we approach Diwali from all different sides and categories, from how to put it together for yourself and your own household, to what it means, to different celebrations going on around the world, and even a pop culture take on it. And so we're and then of course hopefully having the e-commerce set up so that if we wanted to put Diwali on in our own homes, we have accessibility to the different businesses we could go to buy the products we need to put on our own Diwali.
Perfect. And I do want to add this, that me as a KCdesi website, we would definitely want to partner with you.
Absolutely.
And work with you on developing the content and you know, providing local coverage, and you know, anything else that we can come up with. We'll be doing a lot of partnership.
That would be great. I can see that it would work.
I want to say this on record. We'll provide all support and you know, backup support, everything that you need for the website, and wish you the very best.
Thank you.
And hope to talk to you sometime soon
Thank
again
you very
after
much.
your site is up.
Thank